If there is any emotion that every single narcissist feels, and that too really quickly and easily, it is anger. Why? Because anger gives them a false sense of control over others. Anger also acts as a shield that prevents them from looking within. Anger also makes them feel powerful and not vulnerable. Anger is outward focused, not inward focused. But what does this anger mean? When they puff off and pretend to be stronger than you, when they shout and scream, or in case of a covert narcissist, become passively aggressive, what does that all mean? What is actually going on in a narcissist's brain when they become angry towards you or others? Let's find out in today's episode. Hi, I am Danish, a psychologist and a narcissistic abuse recovery professional. In today's episode, we are going to talk about what a narcissist's anger actually means and what do they experience in reality when they display anger. If that sounds interesting and you're eager to learn more, please subscribe before we get started, because your subscription to this channel will help in spreading awareness about narcissistic abuse. Let me lay the foundation by saying this. Narcissists are cowards. They do not have any true strength. They are morally corrupt and weak. They are shame-driven, shame-filled, and shame-ridden individuals who are insecure beyond your imagination. They do not want to acknowledge these insecurities at all, which is why they project them on you. They can size up, pop up, appear as intimidating as possible or as passive-aggressive as possible, but the truth is, underneath that facade is a rotten, destructive, immature adult who does not have any capabilities whatsoever to regulate their emotions. Anger is their preferred and the only emotion they so vividly feel because they struggle with lack of control. They cannot control their life. They know it deep down. So they try to fake it by being angry, by screaming and yelling at you, by putting you down. That way they can suppress your voice and reassure their destructive brain that they are in control, when in truth they feel the total lack of it. Their anger shows us that they are deeply broken. They do not have a true sense of self. There is no authenticity within, and they are fragile. A mere touch collapses it all, which is the reason why everything you say is perceived as some form of criticism. The truth is, when they get angry, they're actually feeling shame underneath. And to cover that up, to suppress it, they feel angry. They try to destroy the person or the thing they falsely perceive as the source of their shame, the source that made them feel that way, the bad way. The moment they feel like you have said something that too intentionally to make them feel bad, to make them feel that shame, they ferociously attack you. If they can, if they feel like they have the power to do so, which overt narcissists mostly do. And they try to tear you apart. They try to bring you down, because in that moment, they get in touch with what they stay miles away from. I'm talking about their fragmented true self, the suppressed shame. So that is the mechanism that runs their anger. It's the back and forth, the pendulation between shame and anger. When they feel they have been criticized or somebody is telling them what to do, they feel the shame. They feel the inferiority complex. They feel like they're smaller than you, which is something they do not believe, and that is their cognitive resonance, so they resort to being angry. Here is the difference though. Their anger is not the kind of anger that you and I feel. No, it is animalistic rage, like you would see a wolf running towards you in rage to tear you apart. That is the anger that I'm talking about. That's what they feel, and that's why their eyes lose life the moment they have that psychotic break, that gap, when in rage mode you feel like you're dealing with a demon, and that's what they become. They completely lose respect for you because they perceive you as an enemy, and out of their rage they take revenge on you, which sometimes can manifest as or in different forms of betrayal, such as cheating on you with somebody else, destroying you financially, stealing your money, destroying your relationship with your children, and so on. In fact, the type of the betrayal you've experienced in a narcissistic relationship is the biggest form of betrayal known to mankind, and I have personal reasons to say so, which I will explain in an upcoming workshop that's happening on 7th and 14th July, starting at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time. In this 3-hour-long workshop, I'll help you understand how a narcissist betrays you, not only through infidelity, but also emotionally, psychologically, financially, and right from the beginning until the very end. Then I'll give you the tools to heal from it. If you want to register at an early bird price, which is $47 for first 100 participants, click the I button above or the link in the description of this episode and secure your spot right now. Another peculiar thing about their anger is that once they are done with being angry, they do not feel guilt at all. If you were to get angry, if I were to get angry and say something really painful to, let's say, a loved one of ours, later we feel guilty. We would definitely try to fix it, and that's how humans function. But you cannot expect that from a narcissist. They'll shatter you, they'll destroy you, they'll tear you into pieces, and then act like nothing has happened. They will want you to play that game with them. Let's say one evening there was a big fight between you and the narcissist. You're crying, you didn't sleep, you didn't eat whatsoever. They were fine, they were okay, they didn't talk to you, they gave you silent treatment. Next morning, they'll say, "Hello, how are you? How was your night?" and act like nothing has happened, and that would shock you. You'll think like, what? What about that fight? If you try to bring issues up and try to talk about what they said last evening, they'll go crazy and say, "Oh, see, this is why we do not ever move on. This is why I can never talk to you, because you always have issues. You always have to blame me. You always have to put me down. You have to villainize me. I do not know what I have done to you. I have been nothing but nice to you." And they'll feel justified in their head while saying so, and you'll be left speechless. Then you'll have to play along because children are watching, and then they'll think you're the crazy mother, you're the crazy father for not being compliant. But they do not get to see the dark, the crazy, the evil, the destructive, the monstrous, the demonic side of the narcissist that they so strategically hide from everyone. Talking about the covert narcissist's anger for a while, it's not expressed as overtly as a malignant narcissist expresses it. They're more covert and subtle in the expression of their rage. They will give you a big silent treatment that will last for months, and that hurts you more, in my opinion, than the physical abuse. I'm not saying that that's not painful. No, what I'm saying is that the psychological strangulation is suffocating. The punishment that lasts for months, it just unalives a part of you. You feel insignificant. They won't talk to you, and they may give you what is called stonewalling as well. They'll stonewall you. They will treat you like a piece of furniture, like this almirah or something else, like you do not exist. They'll treat you like a ghost, like they see through you. And that makes you feel such a horrible person. My mother is the queen of silent treatment, being a covert narcissist. When she would stonewall me, she would act like I don't exist, as if I was somebody else's child. She would never make eye contact with me and pass food through my sister, and then she would give that to me. It's crazy. And it would make me feel so insignificant because I already had separation anxiety, abandonment trauma, and I had experienced a lot of neglect because of her. And then she would use those weapons against me, those emotions. She would push those buttons, and then I would beg and apologize. That is where that people-pleasing pattern came from. Did you resonate with that? Did you experience something similar to this? If yes, drop your answers in the comments below. On the other hand, though, my father, who is an overt malignant narcissist, would break things. He would make really scary looks. He would furrow his eyebrows like this, and eyes would pop out, clench his jaw, and then make fists like this and would slap you, punch you, hit you, kick you, whatever was possible, and then at the same time abuse you verbally. that was the type of anger and rage. And he wouldn't stop until you were bleeding, you were crying, and then he would beat you more for crying. Like they say, stop crying or else I will give you a real reason to cry. That is what he did. So unfortunately, I got the best of the both worlds, covert, overt combined, a hell together that I have lived. All in all, their anger is nothing but a veneer, a facade, a mask, a tool to scare others, to make others think, look at me, you can't mess with me, I am this thing, I'm a big shot, I can harm you, or I'll give you silent treatment and I will punish you until you bend, you sit, and you break. But beyond that, they're nothing but fragile toys made of glass. You drop them and they'll be shattered instantly into hundreds of pieces. That's what happens when they collapse and when all their sources of supply leave them. Remember this. Do not focus on their anger. Always focus on who they are beyond it, and that will set you free. That will help you release your fears if you are afraid, terrified of their rage. With that, let's bring this episode to an end. Before you go, do not forget to check out the workshop on how to overcome betrayal trauma caused by the narcissist. The link is in the bio and you can click the I button above. I'll talk to you in the next one. Until then, as always, let the healing begin and continue.